Aloha, we're on board the Hōkūleʻa, which is named after the star Arcturus and means Star of Gladness. Hokulea was first launched in 1975 in the Kualoa Hakipuʻu region of Oahu. The Hokulea is 64 feet and 9 inches long, 19 feet and 8 inches wide. It is a ba'akaulua, also known as a double-hulled canoe, meaning there are 2 hulls on this canoe. It is lashed together or tied together with an estimated 6 miles worth of lashing. Hokulea is traditionally lashed, meaning there are no nuts or bolts structurally holding this canoe together. Alright, we're on the rear of Hokulea. What you'll see is we have our back rail. As I mentioned, that we're completely lashed together. And so if you look over here, I want to point this up. This is a diamond lashing. So we have a star compass that is all around us, and then this is our center point of our canoe compass. And so this is a diamond lashing, and you'll see it, we have it on both ends. As was mentioned, we have our 6 solar panels. Our 6 solar panels are back here, and we use that to charge up our batteries that we then use for our safety equipment. Another piece back on the back rail, you'll see this white piece, and it's like a little manapua, and that's actually our GPS tracker. So if you go to Hokulea.com, you'll be able to track and see where Hokulea is at any given time when the tracker is turned on. What we have back here, this is our man overboard phone and our man overboard device. So we have this just in case someone goes overboard. Someone goes overboard, man overboard will be yelled, and we'll turn on the top light and it'll start blinking. We'll throw this completely off the canoe. The person that does go overboard, it did go overboard, they'll grab this, they'll put it around them, and then they'll clip it around them. Once they have it clipped around them, they'll then turn on the bottom light. Once we see 2 lights, then we know it's time to pull in the person that went overboard. So we never lost anyone overboard on this canoe. Alright, now we'll look at our Hōkūleʻa. This Hōkūleʻa is named Kualoa after Hokulea's birthplace. We take it up, and this is what we use to steer the canoe. What we'll do is we'll move the blade of the canoe from left to right. Where if we want it to head, and we want it to head to the left, we would bring the hoy on the canoe to the right, and then the canoe will start heading towards the left. If we want it to do the opposite direction, we'll push the hoy back around, and then we'll get it. So this is the Hōkūleʻa, or the steering blade, and this is how we steer our canoe. Right here we have our navigator seat. This is where our navigator seat and will navigate. What you can see is that it's not really comfortable. It's really hard and solid, and we do that because we don't want our navigators to fall asleep. Alright, what you're looking at right now is Nainoa's name. This represents Nainoa Thompson. So he learned from Maupiailu. Maupiailu was his teacher. And so Mau is on the other rail. We have his name there. And then we have Nainoa's name here. What you'll notice on the canoe is we've got different types of names. Names that represent places, names that represent people. So if you remember, the Hōkūleʻa has Kualoa, represents the place. Nainoa's on this rail, Mau's on that rail. Now if we walk up a little bit more, we also have different carvings. And this carving was done in Rapa Nui, or Easter Island. So different places that the canoe has traveled. We traveled all around the world, and this carving was made in Rapa Nui by our cousins down there. Now if we keep heading down the rail, what you'll see is that we also have our steering sweep. We have 2 steering sweeps, and this steering sweep is named after Tommy Holmes. So Tommy Holmes was one of the 3 founders of the Polynesian Voyaging Society. Alright, one of the special places on the canoe is in the front of the canoe, and we have the Aikau plaque. Aikau was a famous waterman in Hawaii. He was a lifeguard at Waimea Bay and on the North Shore. And in 1978, the canoe Hokulea set out to Tahiti. There was a really big storm, and that big storm kind of pushed the canoe into a certain direction, and then the canoe capsized. When the canoe capsized, Eddie had a surfboard, and he begged multiple times and asked the captain if he can go and get help. As this great waterman, as Nainoa Thompson mentions, everything in him was all about saving people's lives. And so finally he was given the approval to leave the canoe and get help. That was the last time we've seen him. So on Hokulea we have this plaque that honors Eddie Aikau and all the great things that he's done for the people of Hawaii. We're now in the front of the canoe. The front of the canoe we also have the manus. So we have the two manus that go up. This is where we set up our head sails. So we set up our jibs here. We're at the mainsail, and what you'll see is we have a ton of lines. And so sometimes it seems pretty daunting or kind of amazing of all this lines, but all the lines have a purpose. The lines are either halyards or things that we use to raise up the sail, or they also could be lines such as tracing lines that we use to pull on to close the sail. So what you see is all these different lines. We also have lines that we wrap around the sail to keep it nice and tight if we have big winds. And then you also see lines that go out. Right below our navigator's seat, what you'll see is another area that we can go to the restroom and also take a shower. Just depends on which way the wind is going. But you also see that we have a plaque, and this is our Na Amakua plaque, and these are all of our friends that watch over us. What we're looking at here is our yakos, or our crossbeam, and so we have the two hulls, and then we have our yakos, or our crossbeams, that hold the two hulls together. Now these two hulls, they're held together by the crossbeam, and then the crossbeams are then lashed together with this line to hold everything together. So it's pretty amazing. Once again, about 6 miles worth of line that we use. What we also have is, what we're standing on is the pula, or our deck. And our deck as well is completely lashed together. So you'll just see all the lashing that goes throughout the entire deck. Alright, so that completes our quick tour of Hokulea. Hope you guys enjoyed your time. Continue to follow us and learn more about the Hawaiian culture. If you want to learn more about Hokulea, go to hokulea.com. Aloha.